Today is August 6th, 2023. I have to renew my registration within the next couple months. And my employment at Westside should provide the funds required to register my vehicle. So the a goal is to achieve consistency. And consistency is within a certain time period on a given average of number of trades that I take on a specific sample, I should end up with a net positive. Before I got to this mindset, I thought I wasn't really thinking about anything. Essentially, what I was attempting to do is take whatever I had and just dump it in without a safety net and keep trading and keep trading. The mindset is that I would be constantly making money, even though the data was showing me that there would be periods of catastrophic losses, which could have been reduced by careful selection of the entries. So that's where I am now. Trading is about trading is about timing myself. I have to time myself by creating a projection. It's a projection, and that is why chart pattern analysis is so important in this game. So what I have to do is when I look at a particular situation, I have to have a pretty good idea what will form. So what is trading is about? Trading is about going toward in hockey terminology, where the puck will be. In basketball terminology, when somebody makes a pass for a slam dunk, I have to go where the ball will be. When a Hail Mary's thrown in a football game, I have to go where the football will land. Okay? I have to go where the solution is. So, if I were to divide the distance between myself and the wall forever, I will never reach the wall. But if I were to reach out and go towards the wall, approximately 3 feet away from the wall, after having my moving half the way to the wall, then I should be able to reach it within 3 feet because my hand will be able to reach towards it. So I have to go where the result is. So that means I've never, even though this thinking is so simple and so rather, this is something I have essentially never thought about this anticipation part of it. It's like projection. It's projection. It's projecting what will unfold, and most likely at the investigation and the analysis of a particular situation, I can see what is going to unfold on a statistical probability. Now, this application is useful in everything that we do, everything that I do, with something that I have never. See, there's like, okay, don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, right. So, so essentially, when somebody gives me a book and there's a title on there, and it's the cover is there, and the way it's bound, and the way it's weighed, and the way things are done, it says, "Don't judge a book by its cover." And I'm thinking to myself, now, that's obviously true in a lot of the situations. However, when a book is bound in a certain way, it has a title, and it says uh, uh, a Catholic Bible, right? It's just most likely it's going to be a Catholic Bible. And so, if my mindset is that I'm seeking out certain things and the books are on a bookshelf and I'm looking through it, then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm looking at it, that's my interest, and I need to go towards it, and most likely the solution will be there, and that's where I need to be. So, the market, and also when I converse with individuals who have exhibition of certain characteristics, I have an idea how things will unfold. So most likely, if somebody's wearing somebody who has a tattoo, obviously, if they have a tattoo of a skull on their body somewhere, on a statistical basis, there is a tendency for some sort of horrific violence. That's what I'm thinking, okay? And if somebody has a cross somewhere, somehow at a certain point, they have achieved a understanding of the importance of Jesus Christ in their life, and they put that on there. So I can, I can see how those things have come across, and there will be a black swan event should somebody who's wearing a cross, who's essentially uh, is a wolf in sheep's clothing kind of a situation. And on a vast majority of situations, they adorn themselves with characteristics of their inner self to be displayed outwardly, either from their financial or mental or physical characteristics that they have brought to themselves to that point when placed under a microscope on a surface level, on a book level, cover level. So the idea when I was trading, I'm thinking I was just guessing. I was just guessing. Okay, so I have not created a firm statistical basis to say that okay, when I see this, that's what I should get. But I was essentially performing a forward testing, essentially trying to test what it will be by placing actual risk, a highly a risk that could undermine my capital. And so that's essentially is what, if I were to reduce that into a single word, is called gambling. I was essentially gambling because the excitement and the unknown was attractive, and it was like some sort of a morphine drip that was occurring, that was being injected into me. And that went on for almost 2 years on an active basis. Even though I was sleeping, living, and doing day trading, I was unable to separate that part of me from taking a hold of myself and controlling me, and keeping me idle like a hamster running on a wheel, a freestanding spinning wheel. So now I've come to the point where, even though it's so rudimentary and so simple, now that I think about it, the idea which a uh, hockey player would know is that when I'm skating, I need to go where the hockey puck will be, not where it is. Okay. That means that there is this invisible thing that will unfold before my eyes. It'll unfold that will motivate me to place a certain trade when I make that day trade. So essentially, when the stock market does this and it does this, then I have to know where it's going to be, here or here, based on projecting, based on the information that I have. And and I must have a statistical advantage based on where it's going to be, here or here, based on how long it's going to take. It's going to take about this much time, whether it's going to be short or long, based on the volatility of the stock, but it's going to move here or here or here or here, somewhere around there based on that amount of time. So this is something that I have essentially not even thought about. Okay, how was I able to how was I able to risk thousands of dollars without knowing this? Is purely based on gambling. So now the idea is to create a point A to point B, and point B is a statistical projection of where it's going to be. If point B does not occur on the point A to moving into that direction, if it moves against me, then I have to cut that loss and separate myself from where the point B will be the inverse of my thesis. And the idea is to create it such that it dips a little bit and it needs to go in a direction to achieve a point where it is, and placing a stop loss that will be meaningful in my trade. So this is something that I have not even thought about. I've listened to professional day traders talk about. Trading is not knowing about how much you know, it's about what you're going to do during the trade. That's essentially what it is. So point A is here, point B is going to be somewhere here. It's based on at this moment, it's a statistical probability it's going to end up somewhere here, but based on the information at point A, all the information and the confluences that are at point A, then I have a statistical projection of where point B is going to be. And based on that statistical probability of confluences will guide me in making my decision and forming an idea of thesis and placing my trade and expecting a certain expected value to be achieved at point B. This is something that I did not think about. This is something that only now, after suffering so many years of mental breakdown, and the only thing that was keeping me in the game is essentially being resilient to pop back up and keep trying and keep trying and trying, because I had to cross that bridge. So now, the main theme is projection. It's a projection of from point A to point B, and point B is viewable. Is going to be far more viewable based on the confluences that I integrate into at point A. At point A, there will be some thinking that is achieved based on either. So when I see a certain pattern, and that pattern is captured in a encyclopedia, and when I look at it and say that I can project whatever is happening based on those pattern formations, and that pattern formations will create an at the beginning, at the onset of that particular situation, to move in the right direction, in the direction that my thesis is being supported. And so trading, and I keep thinking about what is trading? What is trading? What is trading? It's like trying to figure out what Jesus Christ is. There's no way to truly know everything about Jesus Christ. There's no way. He's God. The amount of it's Jesus Christ. There's no way to know Jesus Christ for sure. There's none. You just have to believe. That's it. Okay? That's it. So day trading is about moving in that direction to create that point A to point B connection. I have to create that point A to point B, point A to point B. And at point A, I have to have a statistical probability with chart formations that has been proven, that has been statistically analyzed by individuals who says, okay, this is usually what happens, and then that will be point A. And when that happens, usually it'll follow up with something else on a statistical basis. That's how things need to be traded. That's essentially what trading is. And if it doesn't, It could be some other pattern formation that is saying, okay, it goes up here, and maybe there's some other confluence that are impacting it, and it may not achieve point B at a point where I should exit that transaction. Trading.